Hello, everybody. Welcome, friends. It is Friday again. I tell you, these weeks just roll by faster than, it just seems possible. But today is Friday. We're in an event with Take 5, and it's our Take 5 Friday Friends creative event. And so we're going to have a bunch of Take 5 presenters on today in our event. And here at Take 5, we try to offer you a variety of different kinds of crafts. We really urge people to take a few minutes for yourself. And what better way to take a few minutes for yourself than to do some crafting, right? Hobbies are actually good for the mind. It makes you think. Actually, I did a whole post, I think, a while back. I don't know how long it's been, about the benefit of hobbies. It's on my web page. Does anybody even read a blog anymore? It's gotten where I don't even post that much stuff over there on my website anymore, and I don't know. I probably should. It doesn't hurt, right? Sometimes we have things to share, and it's a great resource when you find somebody that has got a great website. And now I see my signal is halted. I don't know what's up with that. You know what? I'm going to take 1 second here, you guys, and get my, turn off my heater. There is something about where the heater sits that it interferes sometimes with, my router and modem and all that stuff. So hang on 1 second. I know, and they'll even tell you that it is something that can bother your technology is electronics and things, by your mechanicals in the house. And so it's still probably going to take a minute for it to just completely turn off. That fan just keeps blowing and blowing and blowing. Sometimes if it gets warm, even if it's cold, the thing runs and then you just feel like it's going to run you right out. So I don't know. But thanks so much for being here today, you guys. We really enjoy all of you being here and hanging out with us today. Susan was right before me. She's at So Inspired Designs, and Sue, her initials are SEW, and I always think of it as so, but and it's So Inspired Designs, right? So that works too. But lots of fun. She was doing a fun little pillowcase thing with a transfer on it, and that was cool. I liked getting a chance to see that. Oh my. Okay, so today I've got something new for you today. I'm going to start doing Friday folios, or Folio Fridays, on the 2nd and the 4th Fridays of the month. So this is the first one. We're in a new year. This is the 2nd Friday of the month, and so there you've got it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have the inauguration of the Folio Fridays here at My Artful Adventures. So I'm Christy here at My Artful Adventures, and so I just feel like I have already blabbed so much and not said anything. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Whew. Let's take a breath. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hi, April. And there's Jeannie. Hi, Hannah. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen Hannah in a long time. There's Melanie. She got me shared into the Take 5 group. So you guys, let's get started. Let me move my keyboard out of the way here. And I'm going to move you down here to my desktop, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. I have actually made a printable folio for us to use. And I've got a link to it in my Shopify shop, and it's in the description here. So, feel free to, do that. But it's going to be easy, you guys. So let me grab the one I've already put together so you can see what it looks like. Here it is already put together, and it's about 4.5 inches wide. When it's closed, it's about 4.5 inches wide, and it's 8 inches tall. So it's a nice size little folio. And so, it's a trifold, so it opens up like this. Has little pockets in it, and then another pocket set on the back. And so I'm going to show you how easy this is to make. I've also got some tags that go with the set, and some little snippets of lines of words that we could use. So first off, I want to tell you, I found, let me see if you can see it, this paper. It's the Nina Classic Crest cover, solar white. It's 80 pounds. And you guys, this will run easily through my printer that is a bottom feed printer. I used to try to do all of the things, if I was going to do a anything on some cardstock. I had a heavier cardstock, and it was just something I had picked up at probably Walmart. I've had it for a long time, and it's too heavy to go through my printers that have a bottom feed. So across the house in another little office area, there's a printer that's got a back feed. And so that's always the one that I would try to use. So this one has got this to where you could print this on both sides. If you don't want to print that on both sides like that, it also includes like solid, you know, a more, just a solid color background. Well, it's not solid color, but you know, not any print design, so to speak, that you could use, and you could print that like for the inside. You could print it for the outside. You can print it however you want to, because it's going to be yours to do whatever you want to. But so I just printed this back to back, and that's easy to do. If you have a printer that will do double-sided printing, when you change your print settings to do double-sided, you want to make sure that it prints on, or it says like, you know, short side bound or something like that. It says, because this is the way you want it to come through. And so it will automatically print, you know, the way it's supposed to, like this. If you have to do it manually, usually if you've got a bottom feed, usually it, you know, has to be upside down when you print it, when you put it into your printer. And so all that's going to happen is, you know how you can see your whatever you've printed when it comes out. Then all you want to do is take it out, slide it back into your bottom printer tray, because then the back side is what it's going to print on next time, and it will print just right. But if you're going to do it that way, you need to print the same page twice. But the way it is, it's a PDF file, and if you can do it double-sided, it will print out, you know, just the way it needs to. One side looks upside down, but it's not. If you print it two-sided, it will work just perfect. So, okay, hi Donna, hi Mary, Sue is here. Who else have we got here? I kind of got, something happened to the way I was looking at this. Open again. Somehow I keep losing my one window for comments. And that's okay. I've got us opened up here to where I can see my Facebook comments, but not if somebody comes in and says anything on YouTube. There we go. Got it. We're all good to go again. Let's see, did I miss anybody? Hi, Deborah. Carol is here. Lots of fun people, all my fun friends. Okay, so let's just go ahead and let's get started. And you can just cut these out. Now this curved edge, of course, we're going to want to cut it out with scissors, and it's going to be just perfect on the front and the back. So I don't know, what do you think of this print, you guys? I was real eager to see what you thought about this, and I've called it Winter Evening Sunset. It's kind of got this nice sunsetty glow, but it's so it makes it kind of look like, you know, sunset in the winter. But it's, you know, it's got some warmth to it. It's not just a freezing cold scene. Which, by the way, oh my goodness, tell me where you are watching from, and tell me what your temperature is, you guys. So I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, while I was getting ready, within the last hour, our temperature has gone from 30 up to, when I sat down to see what it was just before I started, it's up to 34. But for down here, that is super cold. And people will be thinking they're going to freeze. And I tell you what, when we moved down here, it was really interesting to me, like the cutoff for if they would close school for the temperature, you guys. And I was kind of laughing about it because, coming down here from Minnesota, it was like, oh man, you close school for what? And so my sister-in-law told me that, and she's a teacher, and she told me, well, she says, it's not so much just the temperature like that, she goes, because she says, we have kids, and she worked at a school that had probably a lot of children who, their families were not too well off. I don't even know how to say that. Anyway, she said that a lot of times down here that it's so seldom that kids need really warm outerwear that there are many children that don't have appropriate outerwear to, be out at school, or, if they ride the bus, to be out waiting for a bus in temperatures that are, to me, they weren't that cold. And see, here's some words. These are kind of some fun things I found. Here's, and I've got 2 different sizes because, sometimes we like to take words and cut them apart and then, like cut them in different places. So I have a couple of them that are a little bit larger words. So, these are just like, most of these are like a real short phrase or a couple words. And then these are longer little phrases up here. But I just thought that, that would be fun to add those in. And, you can put those on if you want. They're there if you want them. They certainly don't have to use them. Okay, so, no, thanks, Jeannie. Oh, so Minnesota's -8. Southern Oregon is 39. Hannah says in Wheatland, Wyoming, it's 14. Oh my goodness, you guys. Yeah. Yes, we know you've got to have some decent outerwear for those freezing temperatures, right, you guys? So, and I tell you what, I love these scissors. They are those Tim Holtz, the long shears. I don't know. They're like the longer ones. And, it's just different cutting long expanses when you've got blades that are long. And one time, and the reason I even knew about these was one time I had gone to a scrapbook retreat, and there was a lady who was sitting in front of me, and she was taking these cut-aparts, which I would never attempt to even think they would be straight if I was going to cut them with scissors. And she was taking them, and she's just cutting those things like nobody's business. And so I asked her about her scissors. And so she told me that, these were some of the Tim Holtz scissors. And she said, yes, that she agreed that until she had gotten those scissors, she had never, been able to cut a fairly straight line, to get anything like that. So I don't know, there's just something about being able to line it up and make a longer, cut. And I know Susan was talking about some scissors that she's got through Chalk Couture that are, they're coated with something, and they have long blades to get through stuff. So yeah, scissors can make a world of difference in, when you're creating with your projects. But, it's all about the tools sometimes, right? Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Here's the one. Here's what it looks like, just like this. I thought it would really be a fun thing to, to use. You guys, I tell you, This is kind of different. I don't always see folios that are made like we're going to make this one today. And I just thought it would be fun. Now, you know, as you fill it up with stuff, it's not going to look like if it's sitting empty. But even to just sit empty and look the way it does when we get to that point, I hope you like it. I do. I like it. Oh my goodness, does anybody, yes, oh my goodness, having the right tools for the right task, it is so important. You know, my dad could do almost anything. And after my dad was not at home, he had Alzheimer's and we had to put him in care, and he was there for about 6 years before he passed away. And anything that we had to have done around the house, oh my goodness, my mom never wanted to have any. She always wanted somebody to come, you know, from church. She always thought there was somebody from church that could do it. And, you know, as much as those people were wonderful and helped her out when we were not able to be there, you know, everybody just does not have the expertise to do stuff. But as time went by, I realized that what she kind of considered to be part of the problem of calling someone in to do something was the fact that she was used to my dad doing things, which, I mean, he could set his mind to do anything, and he really could just about do anything. Okay, now I'm going to get my little scissors. These are other scissors I love. I tell you, if you don't have a pair of these, and for some reason, I mean, and there are other nice little precision scissors, but you know what? There's something really nice about these, the way they feel in your hand, and they open and close so easy. And I've got more scissors than anybody ever would need, and these are my go-to scissors most of the time for doing like fussy cutting or anything like that. So just and it says, you know, cutter bee, and it says tip is sharp. You better believe they're sharp, and I have cut myself with them before. Not so much in recent years, but I think when they were really new and super sharp and I had no idea how sharp they were, yeah, that was when I did it. But anyway, my mom was so used to my dad doing things that, you know, it would take several trips he'd dream up some way to do it, and then it could take several trips like to Home Depot or something. He might not get it right the first time, and then we'd have to be back to Home Depot to, you know, for another round of picking up whatever we needed. And that was her idea, because she just could envision somebody coming and doing work at the house and it taking them like, you know, 3 days. So, you know, after a few times when we would have somebody over and they had all the tools, you know, they were a professional at whatever they did, and they would have the tools ready and available that they needed. Oh my goodness, you know, it just made a world of difference. And she got to where she wasn't so, you know, adamant about not calling in somebody to do something we needed to have done. But, okay, so we've got these done, and then these are some of the tags, and I've got a variety of sizes, and we've got some rounded tags and ones that are, you know, angled off like that. And then, you know, I just printed the solid page on the backs of those. So, and because you could still use them to write on, I tried to do it in a light enough color that you'd be able to, you know, do it. And I tried to make some of them. These three are the same on the rounded and the angled, but the bottom ones are not. I tried to make some, you know, different tags there for you. Okay, now then we need to do our scoring. So you just get it out and score it. I mean, print it out and cut it, okay? So, oh, hi, Wendy. I didn't see Wendy was here. Remind you of Thomas Kincaid. Oh my goodness, I didn't really think about that. That is true. It does kind of remind you of some of that, doesn't it? Donna says she loves those little scissors too. Jeannie says her dad could do about anything as well. If he didn't know how he knew who could. Oh, well, your dad was better about that than my dad. My dad didn't figure he knew anybody that could do anything as well as he could do it. So, and if he didn't know how to do it, he would figure it out. So, and some people are like that. Oh my goodness, where is my stylus? Well, this is not going to be good. I thought I set it right here. Oh, I did. Okay, so now we just need to, some of these, if you just kind of line them up. And what I was doing here, I don't know if you can see it real well. What I did was, when I was making my other one, I just put the score line just to the outside of this, the dark colored. So it looks, oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Okay, you guys, I need to pause for a second and send a message to my people in my group, because Facebook has told me I have gone against their policies about sexual something or other and nudity or whatever. So as far as I knew, I still had my clothes on, and I don't know what in the world they think I have done. Hang on just a second. That is unbelievable. Wow. That is just unbelievable, you guys. Which is one of the reasons that I have stayed over and have been trying to do more on YouTube. Can somebody put that I'm on YouTube in the Facebook or in our Take 5 group? Unbelievable. Okay. All right, you guys. So what I was saying, I'm so sorry. What I was saying about this is that I just would do this right to the edge here. You know what? Let me make sure that I can see all. Sometimes I can't see all of my comments in my feed for this. So I'm so sorry. Unbelievable. This is okay, just a moment, please. Let me get over to YouTube, so if anybody comes over there, I'll be able to see any comments for my live. Okay, thank you guys for being patient. For anyone who wants to join me, I've got, right now it looks like I have one person here. So if you guys will just put what has happened over in our Take 5 group and send them over to YouTube, I would certainly really appreciate it. Okay, so I just put these lines, the score line, so that it is just on the outside of the part that looks like it is inked, okay? This is really going to set me behind. And then I just do this on all of these, just right to the edge there. And sometimes I might bump it over here and then pull it back just to make sure that I'm in the right spot, because it's a little bit hard to see, you know, when you're following the line down, and you might not cut them exactly, you know, straight. So I'm just going to give those a fold right along here. And the other thing, okay, this is an important part about this part. Yes, right. Did you see what happened, Wendy? Violations. I don't know what in the world I've violated. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over this way. And then I'm just going to bump it over to the left. Bump it away from your guide just a tiny bit. Because what I want to score it at 3.5. I'm going to push it up here so it's straight and just a hair off. It's not even a 1/16 of an inch, you guys. So I'm going to score it at 3.5. And this paper, you can, you know, score, you can run your stylus along here several times, and it's not going to break or crack. That was another thing that I decided I really like this paper for. And then the other one is going to be 3 5/8. And this is going to give us just 1/8 of an inch, tiny little bit that is going to allow us to, you know, as we put things into our folio, it's still going to give us a little bit of space. So it's not just, you know, totally you know, flat and kind of out of sorts with itself. And so this one then is at 8 inches, and then 8 and an 8. 8 and an 1/8. Okay. All right. And so then, yeah, I decided I better go to this part before, in case something else happens, because that's kind of important to score it like that so you've got the room to do it. So Mary's here and Wendy's here. Thanks you guys for popping over with me over here. And so then it's the only thing about these is when you've got score lines that are only 1/8 of an inch apart, you really kind of have to finesse your paper to get it to where it will bend at those two score lines that are so close together. But you can do it. It just takes a little bit of work. But that 1/8 of an inch is really going to be helpful as you put things into your folio. It doesn't sound like much, does it? Not at all. But it really can help. Okay. You guys, I tell you what, I don't even know what to think about that deal with getting thrown off right in the middle of something from something that violated community standards of sexual and nudity nature. It really makes me unhappy. Okay, so we've got that done, and so it'll fold over just like that. So let's go ahead and continue working on some of our pockets, because I want to show you how those go in. And you know, this is a great project. You know, you don't even have to have a lot of supplies to do this project, because you don't have to have ink. Now you could, if you wanted to do some more inking, you could. That would be fun to do as well. Well, I'm anxious to see now how long or... Whoa. I really got out of whack there. I'm anxious to see how this goes with my page on Facebook. And then just do this, and then give it a fold like this, and then in a minute we'll go back and fold all of them with the bone folder to make sure that they are creased nice and well. I don't know, does anybody know of anything that I said that could have been construed as just totally inappropriate? Okay, and then just keep scoring all these right here on the edge. Just need them on the edge. Thanks, Jeannie. I appreciate that. Jeannie shared us out. I know that popped up there and I'm like, what? Okay. Then just each one. Then I'm anxious to show you how these all go together. Yeah, I didn't. Well, thank you guys. You know, sometimes you just never know what you may have said or done. Just, I don't know. That's not really like anything that I would say or do. Okay, and then our last one here. All right. How many of you have made folios before? Anybody? How many of you like to do things like little projects like this if you've got a little head start, like something, you know, like this that you can just print out? I kind of like to do these sometimes. All right, let's move these out of the way. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and crease all of these really good before we put them on. Just get them nice and tight. I tell you what, I am really impressed with that paper. It just does not, you don't get a bunch of cracking in it. And I would have never thought about using, you know, it was kind of like in desperation, I needed to print something out on cardstock, and I happened to think about that. And like I said, I have it for using with alcohol markers, which I don't even use my alcohol markers that often, but it is the perfect paper to use for that. It doesn't absorb so much of your marker, of, you know, your ink. That's one of the things you have to be careful with alcohol markers, is you've got to use the right kind of paper so you're not, you know, using all your paper on that. Okay, let's start with this little pocket over here, and see, it lines right up here. It's going to match our little tree here, and so we're going to put that on, and I'm going to just put the glue along the tabs. Now, one of the things, oh, hi, Donna. Now, one of the things you need to kind of be careful of is make sure that you get it pretty close to these inner edges of the flaps, because if you don't, it catches on some of the things that you might be sticking into the pockets. So you want to put, get some on there. Don't get it so much that as you, put it in that it's going to get closed, that it's going to goo out. Like, does that even make sense? Goo out. Okay, and then we're just going to slide it along here and line it up. Okay. And then it's got a little pocket that goes right down here. So this goes right here. See, now can you see what I was saying? All these things match up. So the inside, like before you start putting other things in, it's going to match all up. And, as you start to fill things and put other tags and stuff in, you're going to be covering up some of the scene. But, until you do, it's kind of fun to see. Now, let's just put this right here. Just line it up on the bottom, match it up on the bottom. And then just put that there. So now we've got a pocket here and this little pocket here. And now in the center, now I've got the same kind of pocket goes on the inside and the outside. Just make sure, and you can see the little, house is facing the right direction for whichever one you have it in. And I've just made this so that it is a side tuck pocket because sometimes it's easier to get things in and out of that. And, it's kind of long along one side. And so this will give you a chance to, be able to get things in, from the open side. I kind of like some tuck spots like that. It's kind of like a giant tuck spot. Okay, so this one we're going to put right here. We're going to bump it up close. Make sure it's not in the way of your hinged piece. Now this one, there we go. And it looks like this one is like a little bit too long up here, and we'll just trim that off in a minute. Now to match up the house and the fence and stuff, I've had to bump this up in kind of this water here. I've bumped it up a little. It's not all the way to the bottom there, but nobody's gonna notice that. Okay, so again, we're just building it up. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be done with this and my time is still not even over. See, I told you it was easy. I would have even had time to have printed it. Oh, something I noticed, which, it's really funny. Some of the things you never notice. I noticed in my print settings that it talked about, if you're going to do a double-sided print, to reduce the amount of ink, and it had a setting for that. And it had a setting for how long to dry in between as it, as you, it shoots it out part way in it and it sits there and then it lets it dry a little bit and then it'll suck it back in and, and finish the process. And so I thought, well, I don't really want to reduce the ink setting. So I bumped the ink setting so it was still, full strength. And I put it to a minute for it to dry. And it seemed fine. It seemed like it worked just fine. Okay, let's just trim this off here. I can't do it with those. That's kind of a difficult little spot to get to. I did it a little bit shorter than the page. And then we'll do the other side. Oh, we can make some tags and find some of the words and use that. So Wendy says, storm's been whipping around there, no power all morning. Oh my goodness. So when she's happy to have a wood stove for some warmth, I guess so. Is no fun. Several years ago when Texas had a bunch of snow and it was really cold and so many people were without power. I was here at home by myself, and we were trying to sell property up in Colorado, and my husband was up there staying with that because it was empty. We didn't want it just sitting empty, and he was up there, and so I was home by myself. We had that situation. We lost power, and oh my goodness, it was so cold, and I just hoped that, it would stay warm in the house. So I was here with a dog and a cat, and luckily, I tell you, that was pretty lucky. I still had a good amount of, by accident, I had ended up down here with a bunch of my outerwear and mittens and hats and all kinds of stuff from Minnesota. And you guys, I had this coat. It's kind of a, what do you call that, fleecy stuff? Well, maybe that's what it is. And that's just what I use for a coat down here. That's all the heavier that it is. And it's kind of big. And so I was able to wear several layers underneath and wear that coat on the top, and the coat has like a hood too. It's just real loose. It's just big and loose. And so I was able to do that. I could wear some kind of head covering, put the hood thing up so, my neck didn't get cold. And oh my goodness. Then my husband called when people started being able to shovel out and get around because, we're just not ready for that kind of stuff on roads or anything. So when it started to warm up a little bit, well, it was still cold, my husband called a guy who had, he had done quite a bit of work for us. He was the sweetest guy, and he came over to try to help me get our generator going. Well, that was no go. So he helped me find some wood, and the wood wasn't even gonna light. It was just like a nightmare from start to finish. And so a neighbor, then we find when he got here, he says, "Are you sure that you just don't have your breaker doesn't need to be reset?" I go, "Why would you say that?" And he said, "Well, the people down around the corner here, several houses down, I can see lights on." I'm like, "What?" So down my street around the corner, and I knew the people across the street had power. It was just it's like great. So it was 4 days before I had power. So yeah, it would have been great. And so we finally he went down to another neighbor's that we knew and got me some wood and came back. We got a fire started. And you guys, I tell you what, that was the first time we'd started a fire in the fireplace. It was the most worthless fire. You know what? This one, what did I do here? This, I should have turned it over on the other side, you guys, because I've got a tiny bit of, I did not get that cut very well on that side. You know what? I'm just going to use a little bit of ink on it. And I mean, you can still ink. Just because it looks like it's got inked edges, you can still use some ink. Except where is my one I would use? Well, you know what? I've got, oh, there it is. Like, what happened to my ink? Our good old purpose. A cozy coat. Yeah. Who doesn't like a cozy coat? Okay. So we'll just put a little bit of ink on here and kind of cover up that white. And I maybe could have used that darker. But and this is always a good tip. If you're doing a printable or you cut things apart and you end up with something that's got a little bit of white, just hit it with ink a little bit. Or you don't have to. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so we've got that done. Let's look at some of our tags. See what we could maybe do with a tag or two. These are pretty. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. Yes, you guys. So here's my first printable that I have created for a folio. Okay, I wonder if I've got my hole punch handy. Maybe. Oh, these are kind of big to be doing these rounded places. And it doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. So now you've got this light color on the back. You could use it for some journaling or something if you wanted to. Yeah, I do have I've got my crocodile. Can punch a hole with that. It looks like these holes are a little bit bigger though. Yeah, you could go a little bit bigger. Or you could, you know, put something on there and make it a little bit darker. Let's see if we've got some fun words we could put on there. Oh, here's one. And this is kind of what I had in mind. You know, just take them and snip them in between. Now since I didn't really know, you know, what words that you might want to use or where you might want to cut them apart, you know, here's where you might want to do a little inking yourself. Is like this. And then we can just put that like down here. Winter Whispers. Right? I mean, you know, wherever you want to put it. I'm just going to stick it down here. I might mess around with that some more. No, Jeannie, that's the way that was. We have several houses right around in our area, and every time we would have power go out, we just have probably about 4 houses in one little spot, and that's what happens. And then finally they'll get it on, and I don't know, somehow we're connected to the grid differently than our neighbors. Not fun. But my husband took care of that. We had a generator installed, and so now if it's too hot, then our electricity goes out, or if it's too cold, we don't have to worry about our little generator being able to take care of stuff. Now, you guys, this is what else. You know, you can always take, if you want something to have a little bit of something, you can use your fun little shimmer markers, your shimmer brushes, and just give it a little something. I thought this would be pretty too. You can use stickles, you can use your Nuvo products, give it a little bit of dimension. I thought this would be pretty on the snowy areas. And I usually try to squirt a little bit out and make sure I don't have something crazy going on. And you can just you can almost kind of draw with it. And just give it a little bit of dimension on things. I just love how it looks. I mean, if you really wanted to go out on here, you could even, and you know, another thing that is great for adding to really make some colors pop on things is to use oh my gosh, oh my goodness, what is it? It looks kind of like glass. It has a real glassy look to it. Oh, I completely have I can't think of what that is. Oh my goodness. And we can put a little bit on some of these things, our little snow. And then as some of these are not going to be covered up so much as others, but you know, just a little bit of, can you see? Let me get to where you can see that. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. You can see some of that. You can we see this shimmer down on the water? That was harder to, well, you can see, there we go. You can see some of that shimmer. We put some up here. I don't really like the way that's looking. I probably needed to put more. Probably here. I'm just gonna get a bunch of it out there. Get my snow going. Up there. There we go. I got more snow up there. If you were really careful and could get it really tiny, you might be able to do some little icicles along the edge of the house, the eaves on the house, right? But that just makes it kind of fun, and you could just do whatever you wanted to, you know, embellish it. I think, you know, that's the fun of having something and working with a printable, is because a lot of the work is already done. You don't have to figure out where you're going to be cutting it or you know, the sizing or anything. All the sizing is already done for you, and it's all laid out. I've already got it all matched up for you, so you don't even have to do that. And then you're just good to go. You're good to do all the rest of the playing yourself. Now, since this is the front, I got to be careful not to close it, because that's the kind of thing I do. I close it and it's still not dry. Oh my goodness. Oh, Jeannie, I tell you, we really thought long and hard about that before we did it. So those are not cheap. But we just decided that, you know, it would give us a little bit more comfort in some of these, you know, times where you're not really sure what your weather's going to be like and how they're going to do with the power. So that's not fun to have that kind of, you know, be in limbo wondering about it. You guys, I really appreciate you sticking with me and coming on over, some of you, to, you know, see what we were doing over here today. But I do have a link to the folio there in the description if you're interested in that. Let's see. And then following me is going to be Melanie from Painting Crafty. I don't know if Melanie is going to be, if she is streaming on YouTube and Facebook today, or just Facebook. I don't know. Looks to me like maybe everybody should stream in both places, just in case. So these are kind of fun, just little tags. Let me cut one of the others off. This will be easier to cut with just the angles. And you just play till you're, you know, happy with what you've got going on. And lots of different sizes of the tags, different sizes, different widths. Sometimes, do you ever notice how sometimes if you say a word, then you're like, is that right? Oh my goodness, sometimes I'll hear people say something and it's like, is that really what that's supposed to be? That is not what I say. And then I'll go, you know, that dictionary.com has a thing to where you can actually listen to what the words are. So I'm always checking that out. Checking to see if I totally talk goofy. And there are words that have more than one pronunciation. So they don't make it easy for us, do they? But lots of tags, lots of words, lots of fun, you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this today. And so then the next Folio Friday will be again on the 4th Friday of the month. I don't even know what to tell you about when I will be back for, for both things. I have some things that were probably supposed to only be on Facebook, and now I'm concerned about that. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to just come on as myself over there. I'm not sure. That just beats all, I tell you. Let me see. So, yeah, so I would be on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week was what I have scheduled. So I don't know. I know one of those is only a Facebook event. So, oh, actually, 2 of those are. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm curious. I can hardly wait. When I am done with this live, I plan to go and look in the, in the info and see if I can find a clue. Might have to have some help with that. I've never experienced something like this, so I know some people have, been given timeouts for some amount of time, and it always seems like it's something like this. You never know what you've done. Never makes any sense. So anyway, but really I'm just kind of done. I'm just kind of playing here a little bit more. What other words can we put on here? What do I do with my words? And some of these are longer, so you could, this is kind of fun. Sipping cocoa, watching snow, paint the silence. Or no, sipping cocoa, watching snow, paint the silence. Really depends on how you say something, right? Embracing the chill, finding warmth within. A symphony of snowflakes, nature's winter ballet. Whispers of winter tales in every icy breath. Snowy days, cozy nights, pure winter delight. In the frosty embrace of winter's grace. So, and let's see, what were some of the other ones? The other ones are a little bit smaller. So we've got wandering through snowdrifts, lost in wonderland. Winter's tapestry, a patchwork of frozen moments. Frosty windows, toasty fires, heartwarming desires. Snowy trails leading to hidden stories untold. Capturing frosty dreams in a blanket of white. The dance of snowflakes, a silent ballet in motion. Icy whispers of winter's enchanting spell. Are these all different? Oh my goodness, I've had a whole bunch of them. Cocooned in blankets, nuzzled by winter's charm. Skiing on snowy slopes, chasing winter's hopes. A canvas of snow, painting memories slow. Winter's palette, shades of white, silver, and blue. Snowy meadows where dreams take flight. Fireside tales wrapped in winter's cozy veil. Crunching snow underfoot, nature's lullaby aloof. Okay, so, and I just decided, even here, it just was a fun wintry scene. It seems wintry right now, and I know everybody keeps talking about how cold it is, where they are in most of the country. Places have just been having such cold weather, and I thought, you know what, this is a perfect time for doing a winter scene, right? Let's see. We'll just cut off the top one up here. Let's do that. We'll just start with the one at the top. Now, and then I'll show you what I was kind of thinking. We'll probably have to cut this more than once. So you can, well, actually, it looks like I can just cut that. And, you can take the word strips, the long ones, and run them up the side of these. You can also do that. You can do whatever you want, right? It's our projects, and we can do whatever we want. And this would be pretty too with, I'm not sure how gray would look. Kind of a gray, a grayed blue would be pretty for using for some other ink for some of these. That would be pretty too. These kind of rosy, warm tones I thought were real pretty. So just a little something different, right? Just a little something. But my time is almost over, you guys, and I certainly appreciate you coming. I hope you get a little bit of relief if you are somewhere where it is super cold. I hope you have a little bit of relief through, I don't know, maybe I'll just put this up here out of the way. I don't really want to cover up my trees. They're kind of pretty. So just put up there. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. Oops, I got it twisted. The wrong thing about these little pieces is when they're kind of hard to pick up and move around when you got your glue on them. But there you go, you guys. We got all kinds of things here. And, you can just continue to work on these little projects as much as you want to. Let's go and see what Melanie's got. I'm sure she's got a fun... Oh, there's that. I shouldn't have done that. Well, that dried pretty quick. That not. Let's go see what Melanie's going to do. She's probably got a nice drawing project for us and some painting. A little drawing, a little painting. Let's go see what she's up to. Thanks so much again, you guys, for joining me. I appreciate it. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Stay warm, or if you're somewhere hot, stay cool. Bye-bye.